He's standout. He's the best back row on the pitch.
You want to play for England, play in England.
You have to be the best of the best. Well, the myth, the legend is saying 41 tackles. The stats don't say 41, but we'll give it to him. The stats say 30, which is still a lot. Do you know what I mean? But it's doing the rounds that he made 41 tackles. I watched the game back. He didn't make 41 tackles. Jack, you know I love you, mate. But he was phenomenal. So for me...
On that, Jim, I actually messaged him last night and just said, mate, you're going to get... When I saw 41 tackles, I was like, mate, you're going to get a million of these. And I used to, I know him quite well from the Wasp days. I was like, I'm so fucking happy for you and proud what you've achieved after what you've been through. I said, just enjoy the smash. And he's like, mate, we're straight back to Toulouse. I've got the ski goggles on. Don't worry about it. So, mate, it was, he was phenomenal, wasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely unreal. For me, in order of performances out of the game, it would have been Dupont, Malvaca. This is watching it back on TV. You want to see him.
Yeah.
Andrew.
Fuck it, he could bank,
you want to see it. Oh, my word.
Yeah.
Like Malvaca, but Jack Willis, like them three, like there was nothing between them.
I got one more to add. Rumat.
Should give me the position. Rumat.
Yeah. Fucking ridiculously good.
I mean, we are like, there's nothing in it. Like, there's a load of other performances. Like, Paul Costas was phenomenal. Like I mentioned, the back three, Blair Kinghorn was unbelievable. Francois Cross, Molfol. And I'm going to name everyone. But if you had to pick a top three, it would have been Anton Dupont, Pietro Malvaca, and Jack Willis. And Jack Willis is our boy, right? So we can go big on him. We'll give him the 41 tackles. It doesn't really matter. But I know I've done the rounds on this. I know it's the conversation that's going to come up, and it's something we'll talk about now. How you are the England national coach, or you're Bill Sweeney, and you're watching a young man, through no fault of his own, ends up in France. I was going to say the arse end of France.
It's not the arse end. It's one of the best ends.
Blagnac. It's the rugby end. It is the heartbeat, probably, of rugby globally. Like, Toulouse as a city is probably the heartbeat of rugby now. You saw the images. He's there through no fault of his own. And, like, it's not like a token gesture. Mate, we've brought you in. Here's the number 6 shirt. You have to be world class. We've just gone through some of the players in that team. You have to be the best of the best to get picked up. And that is what Toulouse have always done. They've gone after players like a Blair Kinghorn, where they've seen athleticism. I know Ramos was playing 10 for Intermac, and that space was void. You have to be exceptional. You have to be special to play for that team. There ain't no joker cards there. And he is not only just playing for Toulouse, he's standout. In any game I've watched, I've seen a couple of top 14 games, watched a few highlights. You don't get anything from it. The influences he has on that game. Think about the back row he's up against. It's Ireland. He's up against Caelan Doris. He's up against Josh van der Fleer. He's up against Connors. He's up against Ryan Baird. They play for Ireland. And he's standout. He's the best back row on the pitch. Mental how Steve and Bill Sweeney are looking at that and understand the reasons why. But if you want England to win, you want England to go down to New Zealand and win a tour, you want England to win a Six Nations, right? You've lost Courtney Laws, all right? Yes, you've put Ollie Chesham in there. He's got an injury now, so he's not going on tour. He's more a second row than a sixth for me. He is. How are you not looking at Jack Willis? Mental. Like, it is crazy when you actually think about it and you look at that performance in London, and he's carving up.
Producer Rob here, and before we get back to the action, let's talk about online security and VPNs. I trust NordVPN to keep my data safe, and you should too. With NordVPN, you can access rugby content from anywhere in the world, and you know that you're going to be doing it safely. And we've got an exclusive deal for RugbyPod viewers. You can get 4 months extra and a 30-day money-back guarantee. So protect yourself online and support the RugbyPod by signing up at www.nordvpn.com/rugbypod. Stay safe, stay connected. NordVPN has your back.
Yeah. No, I understand the argument. What it does is it opens the whole issues around more players leaving and the control of players and the strength of the Premiership. And I'm a big believer in, you want to play for England, play in England. And I get it though, but like his levels, he plays like that all the time though, right? And I'm not just blowing smoke up his arse because, he's a mate and I've been through some times with him with what's happened at Wasps and everything like that. But he plays like that regularly. Before his knees got absolutely smashed to pieces playing for England against Italy, and he did the other one playing for Wasps in the semi-final against Saracens. You know, he's been through hell and back, but every time he plays, I've never seen many players like him put their body on the line, especially after the injuries that he's had and the positions he gets in, to the extent that he does, week in, week out. He's 110%er every week. Hell of a signing from Toulouse. You know, he went there in unfortunate circumstances. They realised they'd got an absolute Goldie player standard, like ridiculously good. He signed a 3-year deal, I think, and I get it. Like, the clamour for him should be, we want him playing for England, but also we're actually okay in that position. When you look at the Curry boys and the other options that are there, Ben Earl, and it's hard, isn't it? So do you open the gates for one player?
Hang on, just to open that. Just go on that. Hang on. You just said we're okay in that position. Now, like, I'd be thinking, right, well, England, you want to be better than okay.
Yeah.
You want to be the best in that position.
Yeah.
So go through the back row. So, like, as in, you just mentioned you got the Curry boys. You got Ben Curry, good player, like good Prem player, not proven internationally. You've got Tom Curry, who's injured at the minute, world-class player. You've got Ben Earl, who's been playing at 8. You've got Ollie Chesham at 6. You've got Ethan Roots, who's decent. You've got friend of the show, Chandler Cunningham South, who's a freak athlete, but probably can't go a full 80 yet and wants to be an 8.
Where are you picking Jack Willis?
Hey, you're at that level, aren't you?
Yeah.
You put him at 6.
You play him at 6?
You put him at 6, 1,000,000%. And you put Chandler on the bench.
Yeah, I understand. No, I agree. Like, he's in my team every week, in my England team, the way he plays. I've always said that. But unfortunately for Jack, because of how the laws are written and because of trying to protect the product in the Premiership and, you know, the control of the players and what the RFU pay, and I think the professional game agreement is pretty close to being sorted and finalised. You can't risk that just because he's a worldie playing in France, because it.
Do you not think the crossover though of having like a Toulouse player in the England team and like trying to engage the English audience and English fans or Wasp fans wearing Toulouse shirts, the crossover? They've just done a bumper TV deal. Like, I know we are trying to put the world to right, and I'm being a bit kind of political here, but surely. What? I mean...
Yeah, I get it. But it just goes back to the integrity of the deal, the professional game agreement.
What? Hang on, why are you bringing this out, Andrew? I'm not saying you're not a man of integrity, but holy shit, mate.
I am a man of integrity.
You're loose as a goose.
I'm honest as fuck.
No, I'm not questioning that. I'm not questioning that, are you? Are you? Is you integrity? Are you integral? What's going on? Andrew, but mate, you're not though. Like, we're rogue. Yeah. What are you on about?
Well,
why? Is it because you go on?
No, I'm just saying it because I understand how things are written in the deal between the Premiership and the RFU and what they pay. Because why would the RFU, that if you let Jack Willis play, but he's playing Toulouse, the RFU then say to the clubs, well, actually, you know, we don't need to pay you anything, and so then the clubs don't want to have English players because they're not going to be rewarded for creating English players. The league dies, the clubs die, and it just opens the potential of the Premiership.
Everyone dies, Andrew. Yeah. We all die.
Exactly. We all die at the end of the day. Well, not the end of the day, the end of our lives. But so do you make an exception for one player? We've never done it, and I think Jack was involved when he initially went to Toulouse because it was down to the exceptional circumstances of what happened at Wasps. But once you then sign a contract, if you start making individual decisions for people, you just, the integrity of the deal and the money that the RFU pay to the clubs for that right to control when the England players train with them and play. And it goes back to the global season and World Rugby and everything around formulating it so that we have a clear definition of club games, international games and all that stuff. And the RFU pay for the right for that. And if
I love this. He's blaming World Rugby.
No, I'm not.
He's blaming me.
I'm not.
It's not my fault.
It's your fault. No, I'm not. But we know that's an issue, right? Until we align everything, which has been an ongoing conversation on this podcast for 8 years. And it's been an even longer conversation around everything in World Rugby and people in, I'm not saying World Rugby specifically, but in the world of rugby. When do we align everything so that there's clear boundaries? Look at the South African players. And I had this conversation with Stephen Get Your Kits Off when he's had 15 Heinekens at the weekend. He's going back to the Stormers, right? He's played, and he will have played a whole year of rugby. So he's gone to the World Cup, and he's taken his cash to sign for Ulster. So he's gone to the World Cup with South Africa. Over that summer, he's played the Rugby Championship. Then he's gone to the World Cup. Then he's finished the World Cup. He's gone straight to the URC and the Investec Champions Cup, played in that. Okay, he's had a few... Did he have a few weeks off over the Six Nations? The URC kept playing, didn't they? I don't know his exact stats, but then he plays the URC, carries on to the end of the season, whenever that finishes, goes straight back to South Africa, plays against Ireland in the summer series, then he's back into a rugby championship. And so he's then got to do that year after year after year. Your body's going to be fucked, and he is injured. And I know he's not played in all the games because he's had his injury and he's left Ulster, gone back to the Stormers, all that stuff. But South African players, look how much Eben Etzebeth's having to play. And he's going to be a 52-week-a-year player in the way it's structured at the minute. So my argument is around getting the structure for everyone. And in doing that, the Premiership protects itself with its England players and producing England players by saying, you want to play for England, you've got to play in England so that we can have some control over you. Because, the boys going to France, and you've played there, Jim, I've played there, it's fucking hard. Like, you get paid a lot more, and sometimes you don't get paid a lot more, but you play a lot more games, train a lot more. It is tougher, isn't it? And while the headline is playing for Toulouse or playing for Racing or whoever, and you're earning massive coin, you actually play a shitload more rugby, and then England have got no control over you and how much you play, and it could be to the detriment of the England team. So, I get the argument. I want to see Jack Willis in an England shirt, but I also get the other side of the argument around why the Premiership clubs and the RFU have to protect their own interests by having that law in there and paying for the right to control the players.
Pod.
Rugby pod.